Have you ever heard of the Rwandan Civil War? If not, maybe it's because it's more commonly known as the Rwandan Genocide, the 1994 genocide, or the genocide against the Tutsi. Whatever you choose to call it, this conflict involved one of the worst genocides in modern history. And when we say worst genocides, we're not implying there are any great genocides, just that this one was truly horrendous and therefore deserves to be approached with the sensitivity it demands. So, without further ado, let's dive balls deep into this conflict and unpack what the hell happened over there. For starters, understanding the chain of events that led to the outbreak of this war requires us to go back in time to the European colonial occupation of the country. Oh yes, the good old days. Before the end of World War I, Germany exercised indirect rule by chilling with a bunch of Tutsi kings. This chilling session laid the groundwork for ethnic stratification. After the Germans lost World War I, the Belgians said, "Nice African colony you got going on, we'll take over from here." The Belgians took existing class differences and gave them a racist upgrade, using physical features and even how many cows someone owned to determine who belonged to which group. Based on these distinctions, certain positions were favored to Tutsis in administration, education, and leadership, calling them racially superior. And who better to make a call on racial superiority than the colonial bastard who took over the whole damn country? So, during the 50s, most Hutus figured out the Belgians were a bunch of chocolate-eating cunts. And with the support of political activist groups, the political power began shifting toward the Hutu majority. However, by this time, the fundamental basis for ethnic conflict was well established, rooted in class differentials based on the dumbest classifications imaginable. For sure, we must thank Belgium for excelling yet again at something dumb, and additional props go to Germany for being the world's leading expert in starting genocides. Oh, well done. Oh, before I forget, the most logical thing is to join our Patreon or YouTube channel as a member. All our paid members get early access to new uncensored content for just a few bucks a month. This way, you can also help our studio earn that extra buck, so we don't have to suffer from malnutrition. Besides our early access, we have different tiers. Every month we post new posters. Sounds logical. We post new 3D prints to print. Sounds even more logical. Our Golden Kings enjoy all our tiers and give our channel also massive support. You can check out all the different tiers on our Patreon. We also want to thank our longtime sponsors as well. Some of you guys are supporting our channel for more than a year now. You guys are epic. Unless you guys are using your dad's credit card, in which case, thank you, dads. Check the links in the video description to become a member today. Now, let's get back to the story, shall we? Anyway, in 1962, Rwanda declared its independence, because that was a hot thing to do in Africa in the 60s. Gregoire Kayibanda became the first president, and immediately started to exclude Tutsis from political power and key government positions. Tutsi landowners faced ownership restrictions, and Tutsi children had limited access to education. Although Rwandan schools were pretty shit at the time, so that last one didn't matter that much. Kayibanda's propaganda outlets promoted the Hutu identity and portrayed the Tutsi minority as outsiders or oppressors. Government-supported Hutu militias and mobs were also fucking around, attributing to the rising tensions between the different groups. As a result, hundreds of thousands of refugees fled across Rwandan borders into neighboring countries. Eventually, these exiled Tutsis formed the RPF, short for Rwandan Patriotic Front, or really pissed off folks. With the aim of returning to their country and overthrowing the Hutu leadership, on October 1st, 1990, the RPF invaded Rwanda, triggering a 3-year-long civil war. After a bunch of fighting, a bunch of peace agreements were signed designed to restore peace, well duh, and established a power-sharing government. However, just when these agreements were about to be implemented and everybody could go home happy, a group of not-so-happy extremist militias shot down a plane, killing 2 presidents in the process. Oh, and one of those presidents was Habyarimana. Yeah, you probably know the guy. Apparently, he was the president of Rwanda, I don't think we need to explain how this assassination completely fucked up everything, including a stack of peace agreements. Immediately after the downing of the plane, Hutu militias occupied radio stations and started to spread hateful propaganda mixed with cheerful music. I guess a few fitting songs to play would be With or Without You from HU2, or how about Break Free from Rwanda Grande? We are so sorry about that. Listen to us talking about a horrible conflict, and here we are cracking jokes with songs. Let's just get back to the story. Chop chop Rwandan style. In the run-up to the conflict, Hutu militias prepared stockpiles of machetes, clubs, axes, spears, you name it. On nearly every street corner in Kigali, the roar of angry mobs grew louder by the hour. Whole communities were fully mobilized, hunting down anyone labeled as the enemy. Meanwhile, the local radio station kept stoking the flames relentlessly, urging listeners to the cleansing of so-called cockroaches and snakes. Cutting the tall trees symbolized the taller and more slender posture of the Tutsis. And this phrase kept replaying on the radio to green-light the attack. People were pulled out of cars and ID badges were checked to see if someone was a Hutu, a Tutsi, or a Tua. Whoever the fuck that is. What used to be peaceful communities were now turned into battlegrounds in a beat. Sorry for the pun. So-called friends betrayed former friends, neighbors were killing neighbors, and a Tutsi minority was viciously hunted down like animals. The whole situation became even grimmer when mass killings occurred at universities and churches, often with the help of local priests. Which is surprising because priests are never associated with terrible acts. Anyway, the killings systematically intensified over the course of 100 days, despite the presence of UN troops in the region. Almost as catastrophic as the genocide itself was the UN's staggering ability to suck at doing a proper job. If there were awards for bureaucratic uselessness, they'd have taken a gold, silver, and bronze medal, each one stained in blood. Whether it was German or Belgian colonizers in 1918, or a bunch of incompetent UN peace streakers decades later, history shows that European involvement in Africa surely fucks up anybody's day. And with anybody, we mean black people. Oh, and it gets even better. Under the Geneva Convention, the UN would have been obligated to intervene if they acknowledged a genocide. So, what did they do? Well, for starters, they did not call it a genocide. And, that was basically it. No genocide, no intervention. When the war ended on July the 18th, 1994, 800,000 to 1 million people died, mostly Tutsi, and more than 2 million Hutus fled the country, obviously many of them as perpetrators. Subsequently, an international criminal tribunal was set up by the UN to prosecute high-level planners. You see, that is a job well done, UN. Was that so hard? In addition to the International Tribunal, smaller courts called Gakaka courts were established to handle overwhelming numbers of genocide suspects. Besides these prosecutions, the Rwandan people were mostly occupied rebuilding a shattered country and society. I'm sure that's what most countries do after a war. It sure beats, well, everything we just talked about, I guess. Oh, before I forget, don't forget to join our Patreon or YouTube membership. Find the link in the description. The Mitsi community salutes you.